Now, what he was describing is who we really are, Alex. And can you imagine if you're a control system, mate, and you want to control humanity en masse? Can you imagine how terrified you would be of people realizing that's who they are? Your control system's over. You have to make them think that they're powerless little me's. And if we can move our self-identity, our observation of this reality to that level of who we are, suddenly not only do we take our power back and start to manifest what we call miracles, which are not miracles at all, they're just possibility manifesting itself because we understand now it's possible, but it also will get us through this experience in a much smoother way than it would if we get caught in I am my body and I am my name and all that stuff.
David, let me throw 2 points out at you along that line and get your response, and I do want to run through a bunch of separate points and get your quick response to those. It's very humbling. Throughout my life, very early on, and I know everyone is having this experience. I'm going to make that point. This is nothing special. It's, I guess, just special in how this information manifests and the choices I've made, destiny, in how many people I'm now reaching. But that I've always had a love affair with creation and humanity and goodness and love and beauty. And I always didn't have the experience of who I was my entire life, my ancestors, who people are, where they came from, but I could see shadows of that. And then now, you talk about being overwhelmed for 3 months. Now I am like that every day before I go to bed at night, and I literally lay there with my limited consciousness and focus, being able to peer into this window and look into that window and open this box and expand into this area, and it's accurate and it's real. And now I look at an incredibly beautiful woman, or I look at some, hunchback, disheveled cleaning person. It doesn't matter, and I see the beauty of the species. I literally, that's how I see them as their ancestors, their struggles, the good, the bad, the ugly, the tumults, the great exertions, the great failures, the great victories. I realize I'm connected to everyone. And it accelerates to a point of where I do have to struggle just to not close down shop, move to the country, and literally sit under a tree, because I'm more and more drawn to that. But then I'm also separately just as passionately drawn towards resisting the globalists and meeting them and facing them. And then I feel the strength of humanity, and then I begin to envision our destiny. And I just wish that other people could see it so that they wouldn't be destroyed and wouldn't be part of this system and wouldn't be taken over by this metastasizing counterfeit, as they admit they're using Google and the technocracy so they can play God, and predictive systems and algorithms to know what we're going to do and what our tastes are and who we are. And it just all, it's like trying to drink out of Lake Superior with a pixie straw.
Yeah, I've got a quote from Einstein, who to a very large extent had sussed a lot of things, and he talked about the delusion. He called reality an illusion, albeit a persistent one. Well, it's a persistent one because we keep decoding it out of the wireless internet that I'm talking about.
It keeps on coming.
He said this delusion is a kind of prison for us, restricting us to our personal desires and to affection for a few persons nearest to us. Our task must be to free ourselves from this prison by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures and the whole of nature in its beauty. And that's what kind of happens as you open your mind. It's literally opening your mind. Nothing wrong with mind. It's the interface. It's like saying something wrong with a computer when you're going on the internet. But it has to take its place to serve consciousness and serve the experience and not be the governor. And as you kind of do that, you do widen your circle of compassion, because and from the people immediately around you, because you start to realize that you are the ocean. You're not just a droplet. They want us to believe we're a droplet, because then we're just a droplet. What can we do?
Well, that was my point. The droplet is the ocean.
Access the ocean. I mean, it's all over. And so this awakening is going to, as this control system comes down, it is literally going to transform this world into what we would call now utopia. It's not utopia, it's our natural state. You see, I use this analogy in my talks, you know, about how amazing we really are. If you want to, if you've got a ball in a tank of water, its natural state is floating on the top of the tank. To put it in an unnatural state, which is what this control system has done to humanity, you have to push the ball to the bottom of the tank, and you have to hold it there. You can't let go, because boom, it's in its natural state in a second. And
so the vaccines, the water, the television...
What they have to do is throw everything at us, including destabilizing our body computer receiver-transmitter system through the additives in food and drink. They have to program us in the way I talked about earlier, through the education system and the media. All these things they have to do to keep us in an unnatural state. That's how amazing we are. And we're going back to that state, and it's coming down.
Now, a lot of the suicidal nihilists, and I have this in Endgame, the quotes, top futurist, computer developers, very wealthy people, they say that if we can't control the earth, we're going to destroy it because we have to be in control. We have to go unwilling. And we see Lenin in his poetry about how he wanted to destroy the earth and sun. They are going to attempt to destroy things. As 2016, in your view, your vision, approaches, how are they going to try to freeze us? Well, we're about to go to break. We're going to come back and look at that.
Okay.
Because will they be allowed to destroy the earth? Because they say they're going to kill everybody. They'll just blow the planet into 1,000 pieces if we attempt to take control of it from them, by simply no longer being under their control. And then I want to get into all this news about world government and what's happening with all these Satanists openly announcing the different things they're doing. We're going to talk about it.
Direct to you. You're listening to the Alex Jones Broadcasting Network.
All right, we've got David Icke into the next hour with us, and I've got a lot of world government news we're going to be covering. David, I went over an article written for Infowars.com called The Real Sicko Movie, and it talks about Roman Polanski raping that little 13-year-old girl and how Nicholas Sarkozy and all these stars are saying it's not a big deal. But then they're the ones pushing CPS laws where if you yell at your child when they run out in the street, they take your children away. So they're always saying, oh, we love you so much, we want to take all your rights, but then we're going to rape children. The head of France's arts #3 position in the cabinet is the relative of Francois Mitterrand. He's Frederick Mitterrand. And he wrote a book, and he's the current culture minister, talking about how he goes to slave camps and rapes little boys. In France, as you know, they're always finding dead people. And at a Rothschild castle back in 1999, a woman escaped who was 85 pounds, 87 pounds, and the police did nothing. You've studied the ritual Satanism. It's very real. And you don't even come from this every time I talk about the occultists, they email me and say, oh, how dare you, Christian? We're the old-time religion. We predate you. We're not sacrificing anybody. But we know that's what they really do. They're always being caught doing it. And now you have out in the open the head of France's arts saying, yes, I rape children, and I'm allowed to. And it's wonderful, and I love raping them. So this isn't just about why they do this. It's also they're throwing it in our face by doing it out in the open, and the CIA admitting they torture people, and Obama saying he's going to continue it, including the rape of children at Abu Ghraib with large objects dripping with battery acid. That's the Army's own report. And it goes on and on from there. They are trying to superimpose that on us and create a climate where that is normal. Why are they doing this?
Well, it's part of the programming to bring the horrors that they have done in secret up to this point, to bring it more and more into acceptability. And they'll be bringing this more and more to the fore, because what you've just described described, they want to bring this into the mainstream eventually. But talking about Roman Polanski, because I have done an enormous amount of research into this whole area that you just talked about. Roman Polanski is a practicing Satanist. He's been a practicing Satanist all the way through his career, and all that stuff what happened with Charles Manson and his wife and the family and all that stuff was all connected into it. Whenever I follow these people, whether it's the Rothschilds, whether it's people like the Bush family, particularly Father George Bush, by the way, and I follow them through, they always lead to the same place, which is ritual sacrifice, Satanism, and child abuse, sexual abuse. And one of the things that they're doing, which they are feeding off the child's energy, and what they want is the child before puberty, because when people go through puberty, as we know, there are chemical changes that take place.